Okay, welcome to this video where we'll actually implement the dimensional model which we talked about in the theory lecture. So the one with healthcare star schema. So for doing that, we go into, so you can search for dbdiagram in Google, and you'll find this link here, dbdiagram. We go in here, and then you can create an account. With a free account, you can use, let me see, if we go into pricing here, you can see that the free one will give you up to 10 diagrams. So that is enough for our course. Try it out. So for me, I've already created the account, so I'll go into a new diagram here. So you you create a new diagram, and you choose here the name. So basically, this is using a language called dbml. So for creating a schema, for creating diagram. So we create the syntax is quite easy. So I'll walk it through when I'm doing. So we start with the table fact healthcare, and curly braces like this. And then we have the fact healthcare ID, and this is an integer. We can have I can use cap. Let me see, caps. It depends how you want to type out your data types. So this is also a primary key. So you see that we get a key symbol here. And later this we have also the date ID, right? And the date ID is an integer as well. And we have ref. We want to, basically, this ID, I want it to match. I want to have a foreign key relation to the date column, or to the date ID column in my date dimension, right? So to do this, I will create another table. I'll remove this first, like this. I'll create another table. I can create all other tables actually. So dim date, like this. So this one has date ID, it has integer, and it has primary key, like this. And similarly, I copy this one. I use Shift Alt down button to copy it. So dim patient. And then for the patient, I have the patient ID, right? Patient ID. And note that I've used the integer. It could also be string if we're using, for example, a hash ID. So in when dimensional modeling in the Kimball, when I read the Kimball book, they used integers. So this is basically most simple to use. However, when we go into DBT later, we will actually use hash, so that then it will be a string instead, right? But for now, it suffices with integer. So we have dim patient. What else do we have? We have another dimension. We have dim doctor, right? Dim doctor. And we also have dim, let me see, hospital. So when we're doing this, let's see, it's not called patient ID here. This is called doctor ID. Doctor ID. And this is called hospital ID. Like this. So now we have several tables. I can move them around in the GUI. That's quite good. Like this. But we, in order to get a connection here, for example, we have the date ID. So in order to get this connection, I do like this. Where? Colon. Dim date, dimension date, dot date ID. Like this. And we see that we get the connection here. That's quite cool. So we have one-to-many connection. It's a foreign key connection. So we have so it means that we can join on this column for these two tables whenever we want to enrich our data set. For example, I want to have the data on the date also. Yeah, then we do the join here in order to get that. So continue here. We'll build on this fact healthcare. We have patient ID. It's an integer as well. Integer. Like this. And we have ref dim patient dot patient ID. Oh, sorry, I don't want to say this. It saves automatically, and we see that we have this connection here, and I can move it around so that it looks a little bit nicer. And so on and so forth. So I don't need to repeat this. I will just copy it here from the lecture note. Patient ID, let me see. So continue here, and I will move this around a little bit. Let's see, this one I could like this one I move like this. Actually, this one fits better here, and this one fits better here, like this. And you can see the star shape. So basically, this is a star schema. And also, let's see, what else do we have? We have diagnosis diagnosis code. And in general, when you're in other database, you do want to kind of you do want to restrict how many characters there are in order to save the space. But in Snowflake it doesn't matter because it will just allocate the space that it needs to store it. However, it could be helpful for getting the extra validation, because then there will be an error whenever the code is longer, more characters than what is expected, right? For example, we have if we know that a code must not be longer than 30 characters, then we put in 30 characters here. For here, I have it prepared with using varchar and some thought behind it. For Snowflake, we could use string to simplify it. Yes. So this one, we want it to be not null. It needs to exist. So when we see not null here, we see NN. So here we see the data type. We see here varchar 30, and we see NN. Right. And so on. So we have diagnosis code, and we have the treatment cost, right? I will copy it also. So, and also for the date dimension, we have several columns, which I will copy as well. And copy it here. And I will move this guy up a little bit. So I think we need to actually like this. Make this a little bit smaller, like this here. Yes. So for example, the date dimension is quite special, and it could have like you may want to represent your date in several ways. Maybe you want to have it in numbers, you want to have it as name, right? And maybe you want to check out if it's a weekend or not, or if it's a holiday or not, because this will help you in your analysis. And also, let's see, that's why we have a lot of columns for the date dimension. And for the patient dimension, we can continue here. I paste it in also. So basically this we saw in the lecture note, in the theory already. So we have a patient name, age, gender, and this you can continue adding dimensions. So this is quite scalable, these models. So whenever you need, you can add columns. And for the fact, we know that okay, the treatment cost. This is the fact that we can measure on, right? It's measurable and quantitative. So this is in the fact table, and this is for a set. So the grain is a treatment, right? So continue moving on. We will have for the doctor. I will also copy it here. So similarly. And also, yeah, you can add more columns if you want. And also hospital. Yes. So basically this is the, oh, I see that I'm in the way actually. Let's see if I do myself a little bit smaller. Oh, sorry, I'll do this one a little bit smaller here. And I'll move this up a little bit. So basically, here's the star schema that we have. So you can move it around to make it look nicer. You can export it as an image, different types of images, and you can use it before you actually do the transformations, because this is a really nice really nice mental model before building the actual building with code. Yes, and with this, I would like to thank you. And in the next video, we'll go into modeling the job ads, which we'll use for our mental model for building the transformations later on in the warehouse. Yes, thank you. See you in the next video. Bye.